One Piece chapter 1157 is here. We continue on with our flashback, going through Loki's flashback that has evolved into Harold's flashback that has evolved into Rox's flashback. I mean, not at all what I thought we were getting into with all this. But it looks like we might actually get to see the God Valley incident in this flashback, which has been on the table, but I didn't want to hope. And I'm starting to hope. So the chapter starts off with the Rox pirate executing a raid, and we get little glimpses of how they worked together, get a little bit more on the characters. Like, we see them running away, laughing, you know, the people that they're stealing from are like, no, but the children! And the Rox pirates are like, no, you're lying, which they were. You have Shiki throwing a bomb to be able to get out of there, and then when his comrade is like, who tried to bury me back there? Like, I nearly died. Whose fault was that? And Shiki's just like, oh no, sorry about that. If it isn't my good friend Q. Thank goodness you're alive. I was so worried. It's like, we're really getting to see more of these characters and how they either work together or don't. We also see Kaido seeing Whitebeard's devil fruit in effect and just being like, man, wish it were me. Which, I mean, honestly, couldn't blame him for feeling that way. But then Newgate, Edward Pops he's being Pops, you know, he's counseling him. He's a little bit, he's like, just think wisely, you know, before you make a decision, because it's the rest of your life. You got to make sure it's a good one. But I love seeing him kind of look up to Newgate and just being like, man, look at you. You're so cool. Because he is. So then the Navy shows up and Rox is just like, sink them all. Take their loot. You know, all these naval ships come rolling in and Rox is just like, let's handle that. Oh man, and then we go into the spiel about all of their sunken ships and the treasures that they stole, the ports that were burned down, the laws that they broke. The era of Rox, as I've said previously, has really lived up and exceeded at least my expectations. You know, Rox has been this mysterious figure off in the distance, and now we're actually looking directly at him. And he's amazing. He's everything that you would hope from someone that's been built up for this long. Not just in action, but also in attitude and in character. From what we've seen of him, the way he has collected his crew, the way that he pleads to Harold to join him, and the power that he wields, you know? He's just been a great character so far. Same for Harold. He is a character that has really exceeded expectations. When we first entered Elbaf, I didn't have high thoughts about him. I just assumed, you know, probably a baddie. And his whole getting to see his backstory alongside Rox has been so satisfying. And here we also get a scene with him where they're negotiating. So Harold wants Elbaf to become a future member of the world government, and this is being held over his head. Like, if you aid us, then it might benefit you, but if you protect an unaffiliated nation, it will only decrease your chances in joining. And then he just shoots an innocent. I don't know why you think this is going to go well for you. You must not know Harold well. I love the image. I love, like, the shot right after he shoot. I don't love the fact that he shot a woman, but, you know, right after he shot the woman, like, you see that, and then you just see Harold leaping from his ship to theirs to destroy them. Oh my goodness. And then you have, commonly in One Piece, we have what we see, and then we have what's being reported. King Harold of Elbaf shows his true stripes. After feigning allegiance to the government, he sinks an innocent warship. Sure, that's what happened. And then we have the scene in the bar with Harold and Rox talking. Still, Rox is meeting up with his pal, still trying to convince him, just leave the path that you're trying to take. Leave trying to work with the world government. This isn't going to work. Rox just casually dropping that Garp would make a really good pirate and he should just defect. But Harold still really believes in the system as a whole. John Giant going off is a positive thing for him, and if he could send more strength, more of his powerful warriors to them, then it could help aid people. He still believes in the system despite the bad actors that he sees. Ida continues to be fantastic. in every scene that she's in. Or Ida. Someone got on me about saying Ida. I don't know what's right. But I do love seeing Garp, Sengoku, and Otsuru all taking up for Harold. You know, like, he's strong, he's genuinely trying to turn Elbaf around. Rox is after him, so we'd rather him be our ally than Rox. Like, they're making good points, taking up for Harold, taking up for good strategy to work with Harold, and not really being able to get anywhere for it. Okay, so Shaki is here. So 42 years ago, Fullaled, Shaki is no longer the lead of the Kuja pirates. I don't know why I always forget their name. No longer the captain of the Kuja pirates. She's left, much like others before her have left, because she's pursuing love. Everyone is absolutely devastated, and Oda always goes so over the top with people's reactions to these women. I mean, so much page space is taken up of them just losing their minds every time she walks into the general vicinity, or crying because this poor lad only became a pirate just in case he might be captured by Shaki. I do love this line though, when Big Mom and Gloriosa are having a chat and Big Mom is teasing her about also leaving for love, and Gloriosa's like, what do you know? You pop out kids or churn out kids like popcorn. It's so rude, but also is so true. She doesn't do this out of any sort of love shared, typically, at least as far as we know about her. And so Gloriosa is just kind of calling it out as it is. She's like, I'm sorry, but hun, you don't understand why we might do this thing. It's not what you're about. Poor Whitebeard, really just... I did think his line was really funny when she's like, you've only got eyes for me, right? And he's like, I've never had eyes for you at all. Poor lad is beaten into admitting love in that one. Anyway, so Shaki has chosen to make her homestead here. She's like, I'm staying here for a while. I'm still gonna be hunted by the world government, but I'm no longer captain, so this is where I am now. And as I said, everyone falls at her feet. It's very extravagant. It's very over the top. Everyone's reactions to her. She has chosen this place to stay. It's a little bit dirty. It's a little bit stinky. We can handle all of that. It probably wasn't the most peaceful or joyful environment, and because of everyone's love or excitement or admiration for Shaki and desire to make this the kind of place that she would want to homestead, they're willing to basically turn everything around from what I assume is probably kind of a brutal, rugged environment to something that's a lot more sweet and homey. She really does change a lot of what Fullaled is like. I think there's actually a line in here. Yeah, this lone peony blooming amid the blasted wasteland brought beauty and comfort to the island. So yeah, it was a harsh environment that they were all living in, and this one woman came in and really changed the whole feel here, turned it into a much more warm place that, I mean, they all seem happy with it. And she's created her very first rip-off bar. It looks so similar to how I remember the one that we're already familiar with. She really has just made herself at home here, and it seems has developed a very good relationship here with the people as well. All right, here's the line. In time, she would become an irreplaceable treasure to the pirates who made this island their home. And what is treasure if not something that can be stolen? So the big talking point right now is Shaki is the reason for God Valley incident. Oh, they do have devil fruits there. They do have political stuff going on. Obviously, here's Marcus Mars saying, if you want to become recognized by the world government, you know, you just got to do one thing. Kill Rox. So there's more going on than just the potential kidnapping of Shaki, but that might be a really big factor here. So my initial reaction to this is, I don't love it. Yes, it is very much a Trojan War kind of situation, which on its face is very similar to this. You know, Helen, this incredible beauty, tons of people bidding for her love, and that being the baseline motivation. Now, my first reaction to this is, I don't love this. The God Valley incident, much like Rox, has been built up so much and for so long in this big epic fight, and it still can be all those things. But if the base reason for it is is Pretty Girl Make Me Go Crazy. It's not like, it's not so epic. It's not quite as cool as I was kind of hoping that the build-up for this would be. Now I'm gonna try to be generous. I'm gonna try to look at it through a charitable light because we haven't actually seen it executed yet. So a few things. The Trojan War, too, also, on the surface, looks very similar to this as far as baseline motivations, but when you dig deeper into the story, there are other factors at play. Like, there's more nuance going on. I'm not, like, super familiar with the Trojan War. I guess I need to brush up my reading on it. But there's deeper things there than just Pretty Woman Make Us All Go Crazy. Though that is, I mean, that is what it has been. That is the baseline understanding of what it's been for a very long time. There's just more elements that flesh it out further when you get deeper into it. So too, as we're building up to this, you know, it looks very simple and maybe a little bit disappointing to some of us, but you know, there's a lot of opportunity for Oda to build on this and to add a lot of other elements to make it a lot more complicated than just, you know, what it looks like right now. Two, also, Shaki is at Full Lead for a couple of years before the God Valley incident happens. It's not like she arrives, builds her bar, and then is taken away instantly, and everybody's like, no, my pretty lady, right? Like, there is, and I kind of emphasized this as I was talking about the chapter, not only did she completely transform the island in a way that seems that everyone's happy with, like it's a positive change, but also they like having her around, and she's there for a decent period of time before she is potentially going to be kidnapped. And if that's the case, it may be more like an Ace at Marineford than like a Robin at, well, you know what, even in that instance, like if you had told me in advance Marineford is going to be this grand epic scope war, like really build it up for how wide the scope is and how incredible the action is and how emotional it will be, how hugely impactful it will be for our characters and for the story. If you built up Marineford for me and then at the end said, and it'll be for a brother that honestly didn't really get very much page time before the war. We don't really know him that well. I mean, we see him, we get a couple scenes with him, but we don't really know him that well. I would respond to that by saying, oh, well, I don't like that. It doesn't sound nice. That doesn't sound like a good story to me. Just the same if you had told me about Enies Lobby, built it all up, told me all the elements, all the big emotional beats, all the big epic, you know, shoot down that flag, all the awesome stuff, and then said, yeah, it's for a chick that they actually just met. Not only that, but she's actually been telling them to go away. She doesn't even want to be saved. My response to that would be, could we not think of something better? So again, thinking about this in the most charitable way I can, if you talk to me about Robin or Ace in a very detached way, my reaction to it would probably be like, okay, well, it's not exciting, which is how I'm feeling about this right now. But that doesn't mean that there's not opportunity to continue to build this up a little bit more and to show us that Shaki is actually Nakama, that she's actually a huge part of their daily life and they have a great bond with her and they've built an extraordinary bond with her over time as she's lived here and changed the environment, that she's valuable and important to them, and then also build up those extra layers that are already there. The devil fruits are already there. The order to kill Rox is already there. There's other elements to make it more complicated and nuanced already on the table. So we can build those things up too to make this more interesting. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. Maybe everybody else is excited about this and I'm the only one that's like, cope, Murphy. It could be good still. My initial reaction to this is like, oh, that's what this great, awesome battle that I've been looking forward to for so long is about. But the truth is there's a lot of opportunity here to do a lot with it. So I'm just choosing to wait and see what Oda does. I don't know if that's like a super interesting way to discuss this section of the story, but I'm just like, that's just the truth. I am hesitant about this, but I'm open, like I'm willing to just see what Oda does with it. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I know that I like Shaki, I like Rox, I like Harold. So as long as it's written in a way that's interesting, then we'll be fine. Please do chat with me about what you think about this chapter. How are you feeling specifically about this final reveal? Potentially Shaki is a big springboard for this great epic battle that we'll probably get to see, which I'm still pretty excited about. Please do chat with me more in the comments. I'll see you again soon. Bye.